let's see what problems crop up in this episode of converting our old campervan into our new campervan. We've stripped the whole thing out, we've insulated, we've sound deadened, we've done every process right up to boarding. Today, in this bag just here, we've got the carpet. That's 4-way stretch carpet to go all the way down that side. We've got it to go all the way down that side to there. Then we've got to do the sliding door. We've also got the ceiling to do. Not sure if it's going to get done in this episode, but that's going to be embossed suede. One complete panel, front to back. That's going to be cool. And in here, we've got our mammoth upgrades for our CCTV cameras. So we've got loads of solar panels to actually power the cameras. We've got internal cameras. We have got... That's another solar panel. What's in this box all the way down here? This has got to be one for me to show you. Yes, it is. There you go. We've got a CCTV camera. Not just one camera. We've got 3 on the outside, 1 on the inside. The outside ones are all powered by solar power. So I'm quite chuffed on that one. That'll go quite nicely with me 525 watts on the roof. My solar powered reversing camera. And now I'll have solar powered CCTV cameras. I think I have a problem. Now the plan is to carpet in one go. One sheet all the way down one side. But I don't know whether to start at the back, which is narrower than at the front. So maybe I should start at the front and work my way down the van. Or maybe even better, start at the top and come down, just take into consideration the curvature of the roof. I'll have a think over what way to do that, but I've got one problem to solve first. You see, that's where our feet are going to be extended into the bed so that we can have the bed lengthways and I can fit perfectly fine. But to do that, we've got this little gap here. Now, because this gap fits onto that little groove just there, we can't just put a piece of wood behind there because it just wouldn't fit right. My woodworking skills aren't good to take into consideration all these grooves and get it nice and smooth. I figured this might work. Spray foam. This is probably going to go terribly wrong. I don't know, but if I don't try it, if it goes wrong, you learn not to do that. So we're going to try a little bit of expanding foam up there. But first, I've got these holes down here to try and seal up because they're the bolts that hold the sliding rail on for the sliding door. This is either going to go terribly wrong or it's going to be like a brainwave moment for the van conversion. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to squirt it in and it's going to like stay upright. I think it's just going to blob down in one down there and then I'm going to have to blob a bit on the top and then a bit on the top and just hope this doesn't go off. I don't know. It's quite a big gap. I mean, that's a good 2 inches. We shall see, shall we? Let's give it a shake. And I guess just start down here. Luckily, I've got some recycled plastic bottle stuff in the back there, so maybe that might help. No, that looks like it's going to just blob down. Let's go straight down. And then a bit more down there, and maybe a bit there. I don't know. This might work, it might not. My idea is that that's just going to blob out. When it's expanded, I'll leave it to expand, and then I can trim it down to the right shape that I want, in theory. We shall see. But that's about to blob off, so get that out. Whoosh! Yes, and then straight onto the next side. I guess just leave that to cure for half an hour. That's what it says on the tin anyway. Whilst waiting for that to cure, we decided we'd tape some of the edges. This is just going to help slightly with giving a nice robust curve going all the way around. Time to unbox or unbag the 4-way stretch carpet. Now, this is the first time I've actually seen the 4-way stretch carpet that I've ordered. I asked Danielle to order it for me, so in theory, this is going to be absolutely perfect. And I must admit, I am quite pleased with it. We wanted a colour that was not too dark, but gave a nice grey hue to the areas. Not a lot of this is going to be exposed, but we need it in a few places. This is going to be adhered by Trim Fix Adhesive high temperature spray glue. Now, for this van, being a long wheelbase VW Crafter, we only ordered 20 square meters. It comes in a 2 meter vertical roll of 10 meters long, so 20 square meters. This van from there all the way down to around that pillar is 4.5 meters. So we've only got a little bit left over to play with. I can't mess this up. This has to go well. There's nothing like adding a bit of nerves, but we're going to start at the front and work our way down to the back, solely to give it time to set and cure for this piece. And there's no turning back right now, is there? We spray in one corner first, get that adhered, and then we can start doing the rest of it. We get it up, we get our fingers into every little nook and cranny that we can possibly find. Then we move over to doing the next piece. This is where we start spraying on the actual board and on the carpet, leave it to go tacky for about 30 seconds, whack it straight on, stick a hole through it for where the cable needs to come through. Now, I've not put any spray glue on this inside edge. That's because when it's fully glued outside, I can make a cut in the window and then go in with the spray glue. That way I know I'm going to get a good blade inside the spray glue, both on the metal and on the carpet itself. Sometimes you might find yourself underneath the carpet while it's stuck to the wall, sticking the rest of it to the wall. Might be worth wearing some sort of gas masky sort of face mask. The fumes are quite bad under there. They say 1 tin of spray glue, that's, what's that, 500 millilitres, a standard size tin of spray glue does 1 square metre of carpeting. And I can vouch for that, it's about right. We knew there'd be a problem. Here's problem number 1. As I stuck it on and I started sticking down, I stuck down the top, then I've done that side, then I've done that bottom, and then I've done edging, inch by inch, all the way over until there. Now, it started to edge down, but this part of the roof up here is actually going to be exposed. So that has to be perfect. But because it was edging down all the time, I was fighting to get it to stretch up until there was near enough no stretch left actually in the carpet. So what I've done, I've just done a cut all the way down. Like I've said, as an amateur at converting campervans, it's all about problem solving, because you're going to see loads of problems. This is how I've solved this problem. I cut it there because that means that join is going to be behind the shower, so nobody's going to be able to know it. Now I'm going to start from that end and work my way down this end because the expanding foam just hasn't cured quite rightly just yet. So when it comes around to eventually doing this join, it's going to be behind the shower. It doesn't matter how ugly it's going to look. At least the part that is going to be visible is going to look good. Well, unless I mess that up as well. Pay attention to your surroundings, because you might get a little visitor. Every time I open this van and start working, this cat just decides it wants to come in for a play. It's slowly coming together. I don't think I've ordered enough glue, but that's what I mean by the dips and the indentations. I've just basically put it on and then glued inside it and just pushed as far as I can. Even this part where the foam was, that's gone on really, really nicely. Over the top of the wood frameworks that I've done, that's gone on really nicely. I've cut the slots out there for the bed frame, so the bed frames actually click into there. I've pulled all the cables through. Now I've just, like I said, cut a piece around the window. I can now go inside and spray glue all that area. Well, I'm going to give it a clean first because it's a bit dusty. Spray glue it all, then I can push it up into like the sort of crevice just down there. Then I can put up my curtains, because once those curtains are up, that's going to be a game changer. And I've got some special ones. Oh, and I've got a discount code for you on them. Actually, I've got a habit of not actually completing my tasks on this job in the time frame that I set, so I may as well just tell you the discount code. Van Pimps, we've all heard of Van Pimps, get loads of stylish stuff for your van, and I've got a 5% discount for you. Indy Vanner Jones, all in capital letters, 5. That'll get you a discount on Van Pimps. Let's see if this plan actually comes together. We want to get it on the black rubber at the top and then really force it into place. Let it go tacky for about 30 seconds before you push it on. It just holds that little bit better. Hey, I tell you what, you guys are amazing, you know. Last time I posted a video and I was in a big rush and I was messing up on a few things, loads of you said, you just got to calm down, slow down. And that's what I've done on this job. And I've only made 2 mistakes. One being that little crease that I've had to do, which, I mean, look, you can hardly see it. You can see a little bit of spray glue just there. You can hardly see it, but that's going to be behind the shower unit, so that's not an issue. And the second one is actually quite a big one, to be fair. You see, I started at the back on this panel, and over the back end on that one, I hung it over so I could do one piece that goes around the A-frame. Yeah, this side I kind of forgot to do that bit, but that's not the end of the world. I can just stick another piece going in and like tuck it into the corner, into the edge sort of thing, and that's it. It's coming together slowly. I can't wait to get this carpeting on and then the ceiling, and then I can finally get the VANZ Adventure furniture that's going inside it. It's this new job that I've got that's put this behind so far. This is going to be the easy bit. The seal on the sliding door, I've just took it down, just pulls off. Then I'm going to spray glue the whole thing, carpet the whole thing, and then stick a blade through the carpet, use that as a guideline, cut down, done. It's one of those jobs that seems daunting, but once you start, it's really not that bad. It's actually quite a nice, simple job. To do it right is probably really hard, but I'm probably doing it wrong. And with the way it's turning out, I'm quite chuffed with it. Let me know what you guys think. This is the easiest way. 4-way stretch carpet is your friend at hiding any blemishes. I'm a little bit concerned about how dark it is in here with this carpeting up now. You see, we've not planned for any ceiling lighting, and that's solely because in our last build of this van, we didn't use it. We never touched it. We never felt the need to use it. So we didn't put any in. But it is a bit dark in here. Now granted, the overhead locker there, the one over the step there, and the two that are going to be along this side of the bed, they've all got dimmable lighting built in them. But we've planned for this. We did plan for this. You see, the Maxview Deluxe, you can get a light shade to go on it, and I've ran a cable up to it just in case it is too dark and we can use that as a light. So now we've got a little important visit. We've got to go to the garage because I've got a coolant problem with this. It's using a lot of coolant, but it's just started running a little bit rough as well. So I'm going to top it up with coolant and then shoot it to the garage. I'm actually quite concerned about this. But I've just checked this and yeah, I think the head gasket might be gone. We'll get that tested. There they are, Motor Mech reception. They've always looked after me. They get me in as quick as they can. So they got it in, they gave it a pressure test and there is no external leaks. They haven't got the equipment to do a head gasket check and they haven't got the ramps to be able to lift it. I've run into that issue with them before. They're just normally a great source of, do you know what this problem is? And they'll be able to tell me. But they tend to not be able to physically work on that van or get it up in the air, because if they can't work on it, then they normally know somebody who can work on it. So they've always looked after me, so I've always gone back there for their advice. Anyway, they said it's either EGR cooler, which is a common fault on these, or it's the head gasket. That's the two conclusions. It's a Saturday afternoon, so I need to be able to phone around everywhere to be able to get it booked in, to get it, one, head gasket checked, the sniff test that they do. They stick like a thing with chemicals on over the header tank and see what colour it changes. That depends on whether there's exhaust gases in the coolant or not. If it's a head gasket, it's £1,000 job. If it's an EGR cooler, it's, I don't know, 600 quid, there or thereabouts. But the head gasket will take a week to get sorted, and the EGR, fingers crossed, is only a day-long job. I think the book time for that's only 3.5 hours to get that sorted. So it's a Saturday. I've rang around everywhere. Everywhere's closed. So I'm just going to have to wing it, take some next week off work, because I go to work on a Monday, come home on a Friday. I'm going to have to take that time off work because I can't drive the van. I've been advised, do not drive that van. So I guess I'm just going to have to do other work to it. One, I've got a piece of carpeting to do, 4-way stretch carpeting. And number two, it's time for me to fit this as well. So this is my headlining. It's come from RC Fabrics. It's embossed suede and it's got that sort of hexagon design. I'm really, really hoping that's going to do well. I've got no room for error. The roof is 1 metre 45 centimetres wide. That roll is 1.6 metres wide. Let me show you, because I'll stand it up right next to me. I'm 1.81. Oh, that looks a bit bigger than me. Honestly, I am 1.8. Tippy toes. Oh, she's a bit poorly. Bless her. A bit of an understatement. It's like open heart surgery for a van. But this does show the importance, let's see if it runs rough, of having a emergency fund in case anything happens. That's why I'm not financially worried. Oh, so when I started that on Friday, after it had been parked at work all week long, it really struggled to start. And it just wasn't pushing over. So what I've spoken to a few experts, German van specialist experts and stuff like that, and they're all pointing towards EGR cooler. And while it was parked, it had filled the cylinders with water, and that's why it wasn't churning over. It had to get rid of that water. So has it done any more internal damage? We don't know. So I've got the rest of the carpet there for that ridge just up there. Once that's in, I can then slightly adjust. See this wood just where it nicks onto the cowl that comes from the shower vent. Get that little corner trimmed off with a router or with a little multi-tool or just something, just to make that sit a little bit more level. Then I can fit the entire ceiling. But this is a week after I actually carpeted the van. And you can see how it's stuck to the curves really, really nicely all the way around. We have to look at the benefits and the positive sides of every scenario. Otherwise, we're just going to end up going down and down and down. So yes, my van is a bit broken. The plus side, I'm off work for a week. That's a good and a bad thing. Good thing, I got more time to spend working on the van when it's not in the garage, provided Monday, when I phone around all the garages when they open, that somebody can actually fit me in to get the work tested and done. But it does mean I'm going to have a good chance at getting this van ready for the VANZ Adventure Furniture. If I can get the van in to get sorted early part of next week, then the later part of next week, I can go down to Birmingham, pick up the furniture for this van. Start to get myself back on target a little bit I've got them to fit too. The blackout curtains for the windows, and they secure down here, and they've got rails top and bottom. I'll show you them later. Just a case of, again, high temperature spray glue. We found the corner with a straight edge that's long enough, and we're going to start up in this corner, tuck it right up in the corner behind all the wires, and we're going to start, I don't know, on this face along here, wrap it around this way, and then we can use the edge to trim on. And with that piece looking rather swanky, it's time to move over to this piece. This is the ventilation fan, the Max fan dome for the shower unit. We've got all the wires coming through. That's for the light that's on it, and that's for the actual fan. They're the ones that are actually connected to the fan. Obviously the light's not fitted onto it yet, so I can't have that, but this should in theory just wobble down because it is just wedged in place with two tiny little spots to just nip down a bit. You can see that little patch just there. We've just got to nip that piece off and attempt to nip that piece there. We've got the little Dremel tool to do that. Now that is so much better. Now for the ceiling material. I have a feeling this is going to bring it all together, but I'm nervous. It cost me, I think, £250 for that material from RC Fabrics. I'll leave it linked below. And I've got one shot. Now, I have ordered a little bit more than I should have, solely because I've got extra panels to do in that same material. Stuff on the sliding door, stuff under the windows. But I think the idea I'm going to do, because the whole plan of doing the ceiling the way I did it, without any lips in it, is so I can get one smooth panel the whole way down. To do that, I think I'm going to measure from wall to wall, stick a centre line, and do a centre line the whole way down, and then do exactly the same on the reverse side of the material. Do a centre line down the whole way, the whole middle, and then it's just a case of spray the centre line, starting at one end and working to the other, and stick it up on the centre line to keep it nice and straight, and then work from that centre line across to one side, and then work over the other side. Trim off the edges that I need to, if I need to, all that sort of stuff. That's the plan. I'm nervous. No time like the present. Let's get started. It was about now I realised just how poor my math skills was. We've got to get the whole measurement from one side to the other, the whole way down the van, and then divide it by 2, get that centre line running the whole way down. Yeah, I think that line's pretty straight the whole way down. I've took the cowl off that and the one off the Max fan, so it's just a case now of stick that line on the material. Just look at that. Look at how thick it is. That's absolutely amazing. It feels so soft. Measure it out at 175. Divide that by 2 equals 87.5. Stick a little line. Do that throughout the whole roll. Get a straight edge, line it all the way through. I think we're going to start down the back and work our way forward that way, because at the front of the van, if we do have a rough edge, we can tuck it into the headlining of the cab. High temperature spray glue. We've got our line. We've got our line. Let's go. And before the light fades, I want to show you where I've got up to, because I'm quite chuffed with this. Like, more than chuffed with this. Just look at it. That's absolutely, it's stunning. It's so soft and just beautiful, and I never messed it up yet being the main word. Anyway, still got some bits to do. I've got to trim down the edges, both sides. I've got to trim down the front piece and tuck that in nicely, same over the back too. But the side pieces, they don't need to be really neat because there's going to be units and everything up there. But so far that looks absolutely stunning. It's going to look even better when it's like proper daylight outside. I'm well chuffed with this. That looks so good. One thing I have just noticed, which I've not done, I've got the Max fan and the Max fan dome that I've not cut the hole in. So I've just basically got to go around, find where it is, stick a hole in, cut that shape out, and then it's done. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you're new around here, please subscribe. Peace out.